what Nigerians can achieve.
As World Health Monitor gives Nigeria a clean medical certificate over Ebola virus disease, President Jonathan and others hail resilience of Nigerians.
School agri program will instill a self-reliant entrepreneurship culture within our school children from an early age.
President Jonathan launches National Schools Agriculture Program with a commitment for jobs for youths.
Initiatives.
We Nigerians, we appreciate you. We thank you for what you have done for this country.
Lady takes the mother's best wishes to General Gowon at 80. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober. The World Health Organization has given Nigeria a clean bill of health on the Ebola virus disease. This is a sequel to the fulfillment of the organization's guidelines. The World Health Organization country representative Rui Gamavaz urged the country to be vigilant and to continue to work together in order to maintain the status. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah has the report.
After the last confirmed case of Ebola virus disease was discharged, the chains of transmission have been broken. WHO officially declares that Nigeria is now free of Ebola virus transmission.
The World Health Organization country representative Rui Gamavaz there making a declaration everyone in Nigeria has been waiting for. While it is natural for Nigerians to bask in the euphoria of this welcome development, stakeholders at the auspicious event stressed the need for the country to not only sustain the tempo, but consolidate on the success.
We are happy that some of those news organizations around the world that never say anything positive about Nigeria for the last 20 years are beginning to mention us at least that we have done something that the world should copy.
This could not have been achieved without the leadership of Mr. President.
Now we have to intensify our surveillance and strengthen our structures. The state governors have to strengthen the health structures, public health structures on ground, build isolation wards, whether there are cases or not, empower laboratories to be able to diagnose, and buy all those equipments, including PPEs, to be ready, so that when it comes, they can quickly mobilize.
In what appears to be his last official outing as Minister of Health, what came from Professor Onyebuchichukwu was outpour of commendations and eulogy on the men and women, both the living and the dead, for their efforts that got Nigeria to where it is today.
This declaration symbolically presents a dignifying seal of the achievements of the Federal Minister of Health during my tenure as Minister of Health.
Highlight of the event was the audience given to Chinyere Enemowo, younger sister to the doctor who died of Ebola in Port Harcourt. She spoke on behalf of other Ebola survivors, emphasizing the need for the public to stop the stigmatization of Ebola survivors.
Governments have to work on it, and also the media.
What has happened to Nigeria today was described as a spectacular success story that has proved that the Ebola virus disease can be contained. Lessons to be learned from Nigeria, especially by a country still being ravaged by the deadly disease, is committed leadership, effective coordination, and partnership. In Abuja, this is Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
And on a very warm note, President Goodluck Jonathan welcomes the declaration by the World Health Organization that Nigeria is now officially Ebola-free after 42 days without any incidents of the Ebola virus disease. This came in a statement by presidential spokesperson Reuben Abati at a briefing. State House correspondent Segun Lawole reports.
President Jonathan dedicated the certification to the many patriotic health workers, volunteers and ordinary Nigerians who work tirelessly, some who paid the ultimate price in the process to stop the deadly virus, which broke out in July this year. President Jonathan, who spoke to Reuben Abati, seized the opportunity to reiterate his appreciation for the contributions of state governments, the World Health Organization, and other international health organizations, relatives of infected persons, and other Nigerians who courageously went through the rigors of quarantine and comply with all directives issued by health authorities to contain the virus.
He believes that Nigeria's globally acclaimed success against Ebola is a testimony to what Nigerians can achieve if they set aside their differences and work together, and he calls on Nigerians to strive to replicate the unity of purpose and the all-hands-on-deck approach adopted against Ebola in other areas of national life.
The president reminded Nigerians to remain fully alert and vigilant against the re-entry of the virus.
President Jonathan fully shares the view expressed by the World Health Organization in his congratulatory message to Nigeria that while we have won a battle against Ebola, the war will only truly end when West Africa, Africa, and the world are declared free of Ebola. The president consequently directs that all the anti-Ebola measures taken after the entry of the virus into the country should remain in place, and that health officials should continue to actively screen persons entering the country through its air, land, and sea borders for any sign of the virus.
In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu has described the declaration of Nigeria as Ebola-free by the World Health Organization as the beginning of major landmarks in addressing prevailing socioeconomic and security challenges for sustainable transformation in the country. Senator Ekweremadu stated this while granting audience to the Ministerial Committee on the establishment of world-class hospital and diagnostic centers in the country. National Assembly correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
The Deputy Senate President congratulated President Goodluck Jonathan, the government and people of Nigeria for achieving a major breakthrough by not only freeing the country from the global pandemic, but also making it a standard of reference.
We have a lot to teach the rest of the world, and I hope that together and with the same mindset, with the same cooperation, that we can defeat all the challenges facing us, including the issue of insurgency, the issue of kidnapping, the issue of poverty, and unemployment.
Senator Ekweremadu also used the forum to commend the president for inaugurating the ministerial committee towards the realization of his vision of access to quality health care for Nigerians. He promised necessary legislative intervention towards supporting an integrated approach for healthcare delivery in the country, including the early passage of the National Health Insurance Scheme Bill. The chairman of the committee, Tony Elumelu, who spoke extensively on the actions and recommendations of the committee to establish world-class hospitals and diagnostic centers in the 6 geopolitical zones, said when the president's vision is realized, medical tourism abroad will be a thing of the past. The committee members made a case for 0% duty on importation of medical equipment by private health entities, partial financial guarantee, an interest rebate scheme on loans for health projects, as well as signing into law the National Health Bill, which sets standards for patients' care. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And still on the Ebola virus disease, the victorious war against the epidemic in Nigeria has been attributed to the relentless effort of Nigeria's media. Director Ports Health Services of the Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Nasir Sani Gwarzo, indicated this in a paper presented at the 61st General Assembly meeting of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BORN, held in Gombe. Musa Abubakar reports.
Speaking on the topic, Ebola virus, scare or scourge, Dr. Sani Gwarzo explained to the gathering of Nigerian broadcasters that even though the federal government did all that was needed to kick Ebola out of Nigeria, the victory wouldn't have been possible without the tireless contribution of the media.
What the media did for us was through repetitive action, made sure that the education given out is internalized. But above all, the public was very scared, and that energy of the fear was, we achieved a redirection of it into positive action through the action of the media.
The media, according to the health practitioner, need to do more enlightenment in view of the devastating effects of the disease in other West African countries. The broadcast media executive pledged to build on the successes recorded so far by being steadfast in the fight against the deadly virus.
We have directed all our centers, especially the news directorate and even programs directorate, all our centers who really communicate with the state stations and ditto the local station downstairs, which we call community stations, in order to cover, to feel the pulse of the nation as far as this Ebola eradication campaign is concerned. We'd already started that long ago.
Take the message very seriously, imbibe it, and assimilate it and make it part of their lives. And that way they stay away from this deadly scourge.
Information on Ebola was very, very constant. By the second, by the hour, we were receiving updates on Ebola.
Participants also paid a courtesy visit on the Emir of Gombe, Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, to congratulate him for his enthronement as new Emir of Gombe. In Gombe, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
About 4,400 secondary school students across the country have been selected as youth agriculture entrepreneurs, as President Goodluck Jonathan flagged off the National Schools Agriculture Program. State House correspondent Shegun Lawali has details.
The initiative is a comprehensive program aimed at introducing young Nigerian students to the various opportunities offered by the agricultural sector and sustain continued interest of students to run agriculture as a business. President Jonathan, while flagging off the program, described the initiative as part of the federal government's strategies to address unemployment, food security, and alleviate poverty in the country.
By promoting the participation of students in agriculture along the value chain, the National School Agri Program will instill a self-reliant entrepreneurship culture within our school children from an early age. It will provide them the most needed aptitude for self-employment and encourage them to take agribusiness as a veritable means of livelihood.
As a catalyst for agricultural development and poverty alleviation, the National Schools Agriculture Program is to be established in selected schools from 12 states of the Federation across the 6 geopolitical zones in the pilot phase of the program.
Only recently, our president commissioned Oland's Rice Mill, the largest rice mill in Africa, with a total investment of $120 billion or 20 billion naira. The farm is fully mechanized. If you look at the farm, you will not believe it. They plant with aircrafts. It's all mechanized, combine harvesters. And that's how we want these young people that Dr. Baraka's son has talked about to be.
In all other sectors of the society. I therefore wish to assure Your Excellency that the schools will be encouraged to ensure that such clubs are given all the support they require.
Students will be equipped with jobs for life through practical teaching of skills, the development of positive attitude towards agriculture. The program will help students to develop their competence, confidence, composure, connection, and character.
I want to assure you, sir, that we, your foot soldiers in the states, will do no less to ensure the full success of these measures.
The students who are now members of the Agric Business Club are already equipped with new orientation about prospect in agriculture.
We live in a nation where there is a large rate of unemployment. However, with this initiative, it will go a long way in increasing the rate of employment and reducing the high dependence on white-collar jobs.
We have a fish farm, which was meant for consumption only. But now, through this program, it will become a business venture.
And it also makes them more self-reliant, and it also brings hope to the nation that there will be food security and stability.
High points of the flag off include the signing of the program official T-shirt and the investiture of the National Schools Agricultural Ambassadors. From the Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja, Shegun Lawali, NTA News.
And staying with the schools now, the gates of Unity schools in the country were opened on Sunday for new academic activities following the call-off of a one-month nationwide strike embarked upon by teachers over the non-payment of their allowances. Correspondent Hadiza Godwin Ebune, who visited Federal Government Girls College Buhari, reports that students were seen busy checking in.
Not
a fuel scarcity queue, neither nor heavy traffic jam on busy roads, but the resumption of unity schools after about a month strike embarked upon by the Association of Senior Civil Servants of the Federal Ministry of Education. At Federal Government Girls College, Buhari, one could see that parents are eager to ensure that their wards resume.
I commend the federal government, especially for the Ebola crisis they are able to combat. But it's just that the stress we are going through now, because it came to us all of a sudden. Some of us got the text messages just last night. So you can see the up and down we've been going since morning, clearance here and there.
It's not easy, as you can see the queue now is heavy. If there is any way they can fast track the process of receiving the students, we shall be grateful.
The students are also equally eager to be back to their classrooms.
School is going to come up with a strategy. Maybe we'll be having extra lessons to cover up and maybe light lessons. But I know that we are going to cover up.
The way it is now, it seems they are really going to rush us.
As the school normal procedure, students were being searched and cleared before proceeding for registration. But one begins to wonder how this will be possible with the large number of students and limited hands or equipment. All attempts to speak with the authorities proved abortive. In Abuja, I am Hadiza Godwin Ebune, NTA News.
And moving on to security matters now, the agreement between the federal government and the Boko Haram sect to cease fire has been described as a step in the right direction. Security analysts who featured on NTA's breakfast program, Good Morning Nigeria, earlier today, expressed the hope that the development will bring an end to insurgency in the northeast. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Last week Friday, the federal government announced a joint ceasefire agreement with the Boko Haram sect. To this end, the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Marshal Alex Bade, directed service chiefs to ensure that troops respect the agreement while negotiations continue. This development, security analysts say, is the best for the country. They pointed out that every genuine effort at restoring peace in the Northeast in particular, and Nigeria at large, should be exploited.
I want to believe that if the both parties are genuinely committed to it, as also member nation within because I think we are on the step to having a solution to this crisis.
I believe that they are sincere, and we're also very sincere, and we should take advantage of the situation.
The analyst suggested that while negotiations continue, the military must remain at their various duty posts in the event of any breach of the agreement reached.
And I believe very strongly that government must have made behind-the-scene moves before coming out with a statement. So it's a welcome development.
So let it be clear that the fact that there is a ceasefire will not make government to become soft on people who break the law. I think that is what government needs to do. Remain alert and tough on anybody who breaks the law, whilst ensuring that they take no action that can be interpreted to mean a breach of the ceasefire.
The joint ceasefire agreement is expected to lead to the release of the Chibok school girls who have been in captivity for about 6 months now. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Vice President Mohamed Nambadi Sambu will depart Abuja this Thursday to represent President Goodluck Jonathan at Namibia's 50th independence anniversary. He will return to the country on Friday. And Nigeria's First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, was in South Africa. While there, she, along with her other counterparts, attended a prayer session at the God Never Fails Ministries, with a call for more prayers by Africans for peace to reign in the continent. State House correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
At the God Never Fails Ministries in Alexandra, South Africa, presided over by Bishop Ndlapo, where First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan and her counterpart from Congo-Brazzaville, as well as their host, Ntuli Zuma, who were at the church to attend the prayer session on the invitation of the South African First Lady. Apart from taking time to pray for peace in Africa, the bishop of the church and other pastors described the cause of the African First Lady's peace mission as that which is not only biblical, but also aligned to all major religions who all preach peace. Dame Patience Jonathan and her counterparts took turns to speak to the congregation, urging them to be peace ambassadors wherever they find themselves.
We
the African First Ladies, we have decided to pray to God Almighty that Lord be our helper so that our country will be free of violence, that our continent will be free of war, that Africa will be free from all terrorism.
Dame Patience Jonathan also used the opportunity to sympathize with the people of South Africa on the loss of some of their citizens at the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos. There were also praises with some Nigerian flavor taking center stage. From Pretoria in South Africa, I am Mahmoud Simon Macham, NTA News.
Well, of course, the First Lady returned to Abuja last night. To underscore the role of imams and Islamic preachers in shaping the behaviors of adherents, Islamic scholars have been enjoined to avoid hateful speeches and deploy patience and wisdom in the cause of propagating Islam. This was at the 3-day capacity building workshop for imams and Islamic scholars put together by the Muslim Community Center, Wuse, Abuja. Abdullahi Musa Suleja completes this.
3 participants each were drawn from the 6 states of the country to be given the right orientation on how to deliver the expected positive sermon to their various followers and listeners. Chairman, Governing Board of Muslim Community Center, Wuse, Senator Usman Kibia Umar said the event is aimed at collectively strategizing to deliver long-lasting peace and security in the North and the country in general.
It is our responsibility to teach the correct positions of Islam, especially on spiritual planes, as well as on social, economic, and political issues.
Speaking on the role of leadership and governance in the maintenance of peace and security, Dr. Ahmad Bello of Ahmad Bello University Zaria said the ulamas shoulder enormous responsibility to direct the ummah on the positive path.
In the way they preach, in the way they teach, they are expected to maintain decorum.
You should be able to disseminate that message of peace to your ummah.
A communique is expected at the end of the workshop. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
On the road to 2015, President Jonathan hosts governors of like minds. The details after these messages.
From the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. R. Protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Niger has got her pulse back. Now you can call from your campus and from over 500 other campuses at 11 copies per second all day to any network, plus lots of other awesome benefits. Dial *406#. Step into the pulsing zone. It's MTN iPulse, baby. Back, bigger, and better.
Awesome P. MTN. Everywhere you go.
It's not a question of place.
It's not a question of temperature.
It's not a question of dedication. In fact, it's not a question at all.
Energy has to be better. It's our responsibility.
And our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
The Honorable Minister of Tourism, Culture and National Orientation, Chief Adam Duke, cordially invites the public to the official opening ceremony of the 28th National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2014. Theme, Celebrating Nigeria at 100, the role of culture as a vehicle for national unity. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Chief host, His Excellency Chief Martin Elechi. Date, Tuesday, 21st October 2014. Venue, Township Stadium, Abakaliki. Time, 12 noon. NAFEST, the festival that unites the nation. Mrs. Dayo Keshi, announcer.
It's your mouth that gives you your best smile, that lets you bite into the best food, hot or cold. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. It protects you against bacteria, plaque, and gum problems that could lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth and gives you all-round protection. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. And now available in family size.
Ebonyi State, the home of culture, is on the path of history as we proudly host the nation in this year's National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, from October 19th to 26th. Theme, Celebrating Nigeria at 100, the role of culture as a vehicle for national unity.
Come to Ebonyi State, you'll be happy while you are here, and when once you've interacted with our people, you will always want to come back. So we look forward to the occasion of our cultural festival. So now I say welcome to Ebonyi State.
This message is brought to you by the local organizing committee, NAFEST 2014, Ebonyi State.
Would you ever buy half a dress? Is buying half a car a good deal? Would you settle for less than 100%? So why compromise on your fruit juice? Presenting Chivita 100% real, natural fruit juice with no preservatives and no added sugar, with a rich texture and real taste of fruits. Chivita 100% natural fruit juice for you and your family. Chivita 100% real fruit juice, available in orange, pineapple, apple, orange pineapple, and orange mango.
House of Cheese.
The government and good people of Jigawa State in heartily welcoming the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, on the auspicious occasion of the formal commissioning of the ultra-modern Dutse International Airport. Date, Tuesday, October 21st, 2014. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Mr. President, welcome to Jigawa, the new world, a citadel of peace and progress.
Jigawa State, the new world, in tune with now.
Katsina State Office of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Intergovernmental Relations and License Services cordially invites the general public to the official commissioning of 3 newly established computer-based test CBT centers in 3 senatorial zones to be performed by the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Dr. Ibrahim Shehu Shema. Date, Tuesday, 21st October 2014. Venue, Zonal Education Office, Malum Fashi. Time, 9 a.m. The centers are the first to be established in the country. Mrs. Hadiza M. Hassan, announcer.
Mama's cooking. Let's help her. Wait. My mama says before touching food, you should wash your hands with soap.
But my hands are clean.
I can't see germs, but they're everywhere.
Look under special blue light. To protect against germs, I recommend regularly use soap. Safeguard removes millions of germs, and additionally, it inhibits regrowth of germs that might cause skin rashes for hours.
That is why me, mommy, daddy, and my brother regularly use Safeguard.
Supported by the African Medical Association.
In the beginning, they lied to the world. This is what we were told. Then we saw this.
APC! APC!
Then they took to the streets. Now, listen to this.
We commend the Bring Back Our Girls movement, led by members of this party. We hear that the federal government wants to take them to court. Let the courtroom be large enough to accommodate all of us when they sue them.
While the president and the security agencies intensified efforts to rescue the girls alive, they pretended to care for the Chibok girls. But indeed, their main motive is to present the president and government as uncaring and insensitive, hoping to be able to promote the 2015 political interests of their party and paymasters. Nigerians, unite and support our government to defeat terror and rescue our girls soonest.
Ahead of the 2015 general elections, President Goodluck Jonathan has met the PDP Governors Forum at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The meeting, at the instance of the president, was part of efforts to reposition the party in order to serve the people better. The meeting, held behind closed doors, had in attendance most of the PDP governors. Issues of party primaries and in-house rancor were addressed.
Very fruitful meeting. We discussed about our party, the primaries that will soon come, how to fortify our party and do very well, and avoid rancor and in-house fighting.
The PDP is equally very, very bright. Yes, there's an opposition quite in place, but the party is working very hard to make sure that we maintain the pride of place we've always had since 1999. We are watching very, very closely, and appropriate steps will be taken. And with active support of the electorate, we believe we'll do very, very well come 2015.
For the governor of Adamawa State, things are getting better.
Very, very stable, I can assure you. People are happy. You know, the common man appreciates when justice is done at all times. And are very, very happy. You can do your independent verification. You know, all the allegations that heavens will fall because I'll be sworn in. Nothing like that has happened. I thank the people of Adamawa State for their massive support.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been ordered to reinstate the registration of the Hope Democratic Party and allow it to participate in the 2015 general elections. Judgment in a suit filed by the leadership of the Hope Democratic Party contesting its deregistration by INEC. The court said that the deregistration by INEC did not follow due processes, adding that even if the party violated its terms of registration, INEC was supposed to have raised a query as a way of giving the party fair hearing so as to know its own side of the story. Justice Adeni Ademola therefore declared the registration null and void and of no effect, ordering INEC to reinstate all the rights of the HDP as a political party in Nigeria. South-South leader Chief Edwin Clark says the outpouring of solidarity and goodwill from Nigerians towards the Jonathan administration is as a result of the sincerity of purpose demonstrated by President Jonathan. Chief Clark stated this while receiving the FCT Indigenous and Geopolitical Leaders Forum for Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja. Mia Ugidi reports.
Keeping ethnic, religious and flattering aside, Chief Edwin Clark told his visitors that the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has recorded high level of infrastructural development during this administration, and the only way to pay back is the people's resolve to massively vote for Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 elections.
There's stability in the country, then you are stable. Yes. Governors have their duties in their states, and they should perform those duties. If those duties are performed by them, it will be lighter for the federal government.
Join hands with the president, defeat the insurgents so that the country can leap into a very serious infrastructural development.
Mr. President is happier that Nigerians appreciate what he's doing.
Appointment of members from the Federal Capital Territory into the National Population Commission, the Federal Character Commission, and some other heartwarming recommendations from the just concluded National Conference constitute part of the forum's resolve to vote for Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 elections. They, however, made another request.
That we shall need at least one additional senatorial district
The forum is proposing to set up Goodluck Jonathan Fellowship Center to train young leaders and organize a mega rally to garner more support for him in the 2015 elections. In Abuja, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
And the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Professor Wale Oladipo, says the collation of over 17 million signatures for President Goodluck Jonathan to contest the 2015 elections is another attestation of Nigerian support for the continuation of the transformation agenda. Professor Oladipo noted that the president has not only demonstrated his love for more rapid development, but has also fulfilled his promise to Nigerians in many sectors of the economy.
We have endorsed Mr. President for a second term. He is the sole candidate of our party. He has been doing a wonderful job. This is the first time in this country when we will have a president who does not exercise the enormous presidential power vested in him by the Constitution recklessly.
While speaking on the number of aspirants obtaining the PDP nomination form, he said the People's Democratic Party is the party with structures in different parts of the country. Outgoing Minister of Information Labaran Maku has charged staff of the Federal Ministry of Information to remain committed to work in the service of the nation. The minister was speaking while addressing staff of the ministry in Abuja. Correspondent Anthony Forsin reports.
Labaran Maku, while enumerating successes and challenges the ministry faced during his tenure, said even though some staff may not feel too comfortable with his administration, posterity will vindicate him and his management team. Some staff who were given opportunity to speak at the forum said they were comfortable with the outgoing minister's leadership style. However, lack of information flow gave room for some seeming discontent. Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, commended the staff and encouraged them to always have faith in their leaders. Labaran Maku responded this way.
I stand before you to tell you, one of the faults I've had is that when I find work, I just bury myself into it. I didn't have enough time to discuss this issue with you from time to time. I apologize that I was not able to keep that promise because I need to answer so many things. I was unable to keep the consistency of meeting with you. I'm sure if we are meeting regularly, all the issues we are raising here will be routine. They will be addressed.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And still on outgoing members of the federal cabinet, it's uncommon to see public officers say thank you to those who supported them in the course of their duties. But for the outgoing Minister of State for Education, Ezenwa Wike, it's part of his tradition to appreciate the Nigerian Television Authority for helping him to achieve the goals in the education sector. Franca Uzoma Olua reports.
When he assumed duty in 2011, the mandate he received from the president was to map up the 9.5 million Almajiri street children in some parts of the north, who also formed the 10.5 million out-of-school children in Nigeria. To Ezenwa Wike, the successes recorded in the basic education subsector would not have been possible without the cooperation of the NTA.
You've been quite wonderful, you've been quite supportive. Education has been the front burner of discussion.
All of us are working to ensure that Nigeria continues to maintain its pride of place. One of the best news that has emerged from the global scene today is that WHO has formally declared Nigeria Ebola-free. And we say that Nigeria must serve as a model for other countries who have this problem.
Ezenwa Wike also expressed appreciation to the president for the opportunity to serve the nation. Outgoing Minister of State for Education served 3 years and 3 months. In Abuja, Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
Governor Gabriel Suswam has picked his nomination form to contest the Benue Northeast senatorial seat. He was in the company of PDP elders from the zone who paid for the form. Achigili Magaji reports from the PDP Secretariat in Makurdi.
For some time now, there have been speculations as to whether the Benue State Governor, Gabriel Suswam, will contest the senatorial position in 2015. But these speculations have been put to rest with the acceptance of the nomination form brought for him by the PDP elders of the Benue Northeast Senatorial District. Accepting the form, the governor noted that he was humbled by the gesture. He advocated the replication of similar approach in selecting political office holders in order to reduce political tension in the country.
If I was a son who was not listening to you, if I was a son who was unduly agitated, of course, this wouldn't have happened.
While presenting the form to the governor earlier, the elders explained that their decision was informed by his leadership qualities. In Makurdi, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has described former head of state General Yakubu Ngong as an exemplary leader who continues to inspire patriotism, service and humility. She visited the elder statesman to felicitate with him on his 80th birthday. State House correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
For Dame Patience Jonathan, and indeed many Nigerians, former head of state General Yakubu Gowon represents a living example of a patriot and believer in one Nigeria. During a visit to congratulate him for recently turning 80, Dame Patience Jonathan thanked the elder statesman for being a selfless leader who has continued to demonstrate love for Nigeria and Nigerians through different initiatives.
We Nigerians, we appreciate you. We thank you for what you have done for this country. It's hard to see a man like you.
She also expressed appreciation for his support to the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan, saying his fatherly wisdom and support as well as prayers have been useful for nation building. General Gowon thanked the First Lady for her visit and restated his unshakable faith in Nigeria.
And that is also my strength, to be able to stand and support our leadership through this very difficult period of our nation's history. To rule Nigeria is not an easy thing, I can assure you. No matter what you do, you will be criticized, you will be condemned, etc. Once you have God behind you, praying to God to give you the wisdom and the courage to do the right thing, you cannot go wrong.
Prayers were offered for the celebrant in both Christian and Islamic faiths. In Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
In the meantime, the chairman, Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has, on behalf of his colleagues, urged Nigerians to celebrate General Yakubu Ngowon's 80th birthday, remembering why we must, quote, go on with one Nigeria, end of quote. In a statement, Governor Aliyu, who said General Ngowon would be remembered as an apostle of peace, observed that Nigeria was indeed fortunate to have had him as leader during the Civil War. He noted that Ngowon's role in reconstructing, rehabilitating and rebuilding Nigeria and the no victory, no vanquished position on the Civil War helped Nigeria to heal quickly from the injuries of the war. He said since some notable Nigerians have paid dearly to protect the unity of the country, the northern governors frowned at some misguided Nigerians calling for a divided Nigeria at the slightest provocation. United Nations and INEC prepare ahead of 2015 polls. Abdullahi is in our Lagos Network Center with these and other reports. Abdullahi.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Voter registration has been identified as pivotal towards political participation in a democratic context and the promotion of the right of every eligible Nigerian to perform their civic responsibility. This was a focal point of discussions at a workshop organized by the United Nations Development Programme under its Governance for Development project in Nigeria for officers of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Olajide Bello reports.
With the 2015 general elections just around the corner, there is the need for up-to-date training and retraining of electoral personnel to enhance effective discharge of their duties. It is against this background that the United Nations Development Programme, with the workshop tagged National Elections Experts. The United Nations Development Programme's Director, Dr. Mutada Deme, represented by Professor Bolade Enyila, noted that the workshop is aimed at improving INEC's institutional capacity and operational competency through professional staff development.
We strongly believe that all processes towards conducting a successful general election in February 2015 is largely in place.
The INEC President Electoral Commissioner for Lagos State, Adekunle Ogumala, lauded the UNDP and Democratic Governors for Development for their support aimed at enhancing the democratic process in Nigeria.
That is towards ensuring that the impending distribution of permanent voters' cards and continuous voters' registration is successful.
He emphasized the need for electorates to take the continuous voter registration seriously in Lagos. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The enduring legacies of Ikoyi Club 1938 have continued to be celebrated as members of the prestigious social club came together in Lagos to mark 76 years of its existence. The 4-day celebration was brought to a close with a grand reception and awards presentation. The reports.
For a club which has come a long way in promoting wellness, recreation, family union, as well as strengthening friendship, it was the norm to roll out the drums in celebration.
They have provided 8 sporting sections, including an 18-hole golf course for our members' sporting needs.
The Ikoyi Club is actually the only social club in Nigeria that actually admits wives and children.
This long-celebrated tradition of the club is also a way to promote global harmony through recreation. The 4-day event was not without variety of fun-filled activities.
It is that community that has brought together a lot of people from different parts of the world.
Members spoke on the many benefits they enjoyed in the facility.
There is recreation, there is sporting facilities.
For me, it's being able to network with people.
There is everything that keeps the member together here. Play for the children, play for adults.
We have marriages between our children. We have business. We have friendship.
Awards were presented to some organizations who have supported the club in the past, while other prizes were also given out. Ikoyi Club was established in 1938 by the European civil servants and business communities to serve the recreational needs of members.
People, we want to fight Nigeria. They want to go back. But the future now your own. Together, we can build a better future. Now together too, we join hands, build economy. We big pass for Africa. As it is so, we must make sure say every Niger pikin day can win. And education go tanda gidigba from everywhere for our country. We could build correct infrastructure, construct roads them when they bring business, water, light, and other things where they make life better. Go there for every family. So therefore, to all of them, we want to fight Nigeria. We they say the future na hard work, but we they build that together. We no fit go back. Sam, the future now we own. Good luck, Jonathan. One Nigeria. Together, we dey waka dey go.
Chivita Active Fruit Juice, unique quality blend of 6 citrus fruit juices with added vitamin C. It's the perfect choice of refreshment for an active lifestyle.
Want to dance?
Chivita Active. Be active. Do more. Get more out of life.
House of Cheese.
The EcoBank Giant Prize Giveaway promo is here again with loads of prizes. Just save 10 or 50,000 naira in your EcoBank account for 2 months and you can win home appliances, smartphones, inverters and so on. But you leave the money for 6 months, you stand a chance of winning the grand prizes of 1 million naira and 2.5 million naira cash at the grand draw. This promo is from September 1st to February 28, 2015. Open an EcoBank account now. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
When I thirsty. It tastes good. It tastes good. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Oh, yeah, yo. Oh, say, Hollandia.
Hollandia yogurt, available in strawberry, plain, and pineapple coconut.
New Camay body lotion. He's always so busy, but no need to worry. I know my way to his heart. New Camay lotion with oils for moisture, long-lasting moisture that lasts so long, all day long.
Your skin glows.
I know it glows.
Skin so soft.
Oh, what a glow!
You're the queen of my heart.
I'm a Camay kind of woman. Discover new body care collection from Camay.
I don't get this Etisalat line. Make I tell you, for every recharge way I do, then just a double arm. See now, I never talk like this before for my life.
The call not bad, Moto boy. The browsing not get parts too. See, anytime I buy 200 megabytes, they knock me 300 megabytes. That's now 50% extra data.
Wait, oh. So you mean say as I dey enjoy free airtime, you they enjoy a woof data?
Yes, no. Lastman.com. I just the hear.com.
We not go hear what again, no.
I must browse.
D.com.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
The sweet things of nature make you come alive. Yeah. The 7 tropical wonders are mine for the asking. Gee, exotic nectar. Gee, exotic nectar. Just exotic, oh yeah. Makes you come alive. Oh yeah. I can't get enough of the tropical freshness. Yeah. Exotic in goodness mixed with pineapple sweetness. Gee, exotic nectar. Gee, exotic makes you come alive.
United Nations Economic Commission for Africa says Nigeria is doing well in combating illicit financial flows, and the Nigerian Stock Exchange traded in the green on Monday. Leah Katumba Batunde has the details.
And welcome to Business News. My name is Leah Katumba Batunde. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, has commended Nigeria's efforts in combating illicit financial flows. Speaking with NTA's correspondent in Marrakech, the Moroccan capital, Executive Secretary of UNECA, Carlos Lopez, emphasized the need to build strong institutional frameworks to check the menace of corruption in the continent.
Nigeria is leading the way because Nigeria is one of the countries that suffers a lot from illicit financial flows. So the central bank, together with the Ministry of Finance, have put together an intelligence unit that tracks some of the transactions in order to identify gaps of information that are essential for arresting illicit financial flows.
He also noted that Africa is adequately placed to finance its various developmental initiatives instead of depending on donations and aids.
That if you consider all these different streams of money, Africa has no less than about $1 trillion, which is quite substantial, taking into account that we are an economy as a continent of about 3 trillion.
Mr. Lopez said Africa must go beyond being a net exporter of raw materials to boost her financial resources. And to the financial markets, the Nigerian Stock Exchange made a rebound Monday after ending the previous week in a very disappointing manner. The all-share index advanced to 38,662.65 points, and the market capitalization closed at 12.766 trillion naira. 353 million equities were exchanged by investors in 5,221 deals, valued at 4.151 billion naira. Ikeja Hotels led the gainers chart and was followed by UBA and Transcorp. The losers were led by May and Baker, PZ and Beggar Paints. Guarantee Trust Bank, Transcorp and UBA ended the day as the most active stocks. And that is business news for now. The bulletin will continue shortly.
And time for another quick break.
Honorable Justice K.A. Ojiako has restrained the dissolution of the People's Democratic Party Imo State Executive and or the appointment of a caretaker committee in their stead, pending the hearing and determination of the suit filed by Honorable Joseph Nwadiogu and Honorable Josapa Ndubuaku against the People's Democratic Party. Ruling in the suit, Honorable Justice Ojiako also ordered accelerated hearing of the case to enable the court conclude before the expiration of the current tenure of the present executive of the Imo State chapter of the PDP.
When I thirsty. It tastes good, it tastes good. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Hollandia, yogurt break time. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Oh, yeah, yo. Oh, Hollandia.
Hollandia yogurt, available in strawberry, plain, and pineapple coconut.
Of nature make you come alive. Yeah, the 7 tropical wonders are mine for the asking. Gee, exotic nectar. Gee, exotic nectar. Just exotic. Oh yeah, makes you come alive. Oh yeah, I can't get enough of the tropical freshness. Yeah. Exotic in goodness mixed with pineapple sweetness. Exotic nectar. Exotic makes you come alive.
And just a quick correction here, Vice President Namadi Sambo is due to depart Abuja this Thursday to represent President Jonathan in Zambia. Sports now with Amanzi Marcos.
As Nigerians continue to grapple with the reality of employing a new coach for the Super Eagles, a report says some foreign coaches have started showing interest in the job. This includes some former coaches of German clubs. However, analysts are of the opinion that anyone to be employed should be of high quality.
Let us try to get the very best with very rich and intimidating profile. Not only that, let us get a coach that knows Nigerian football culture.
In the meantime, the interim coach of the Super Eagles, Amodu Shuaibu, has urged football-loving Nigerians to be moderate in their expectations of the team. Amodu said they have been given a tough task, but promised to give their best. Amodu, along with Salisu Yusuf, Benga Ogumbote, and Aloysius Agu, were named in the new Super Eagles crew that will prosecute the last 2 qualifying matches against Congo and South Africa. Meanwhile, FIFA says it is satisfied with the 5th Olympic Stadium in Sochi after completing the 3rd leg of the week-long visit to Russia ahead of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. The inspection team, which includes 40 experts from FIFA and the Russia 2018 Local Organizing Committee, believe that the arena, which is due to host 70,000 fans, will be ready in May 2016 as scheduled. In tennis, Vienna Open tennis champion Andy Murray has attributed his victory to strong courage and determination. The former world #1 says he will not relent on his oars to see that he returns to the top in the ATP rankings. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And as we leave you, we remind you that it's your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that concludes Network News Tonight. We thank you for watching. Good night.